This Sunday, keep your eye on the Toronto Star for an article about Holy Blossom Temple. It'll be in the Together section, which is a new section of the newspaper. When I got the invitation to participate, I asked the editor of this new section, what's it about? Why Holy Blossom? What's the angle? And she said it's a section devoted to joy, to sources of joy in the city. So I thought it was pretty terrific that they thought to call on us, and it was my pleasure to meet with the reporter and to show him around and tell him stories of our history and stories of our future. And the editor said that the article would be photo heavy, that they wanted a lot of images. So I said, terrific, we've got beautiful spaces to share. So last Friday, I met with the cameraman named Justin at 4:00. And I thought it would be, chick-chock. I'd show him some of our gorgeous spaces, the Schwartz-Reisman atrium, and then our historic sanctuary. But Justin is someone special, not only a great artist, but also a good neshama. So how did it go? His eyes popped when he saw the atrium, and he was drawn to all the light, and he was capturing all the angles and the spiral staircase, and he was really blown away by our beautiful spaces. And then we went into the sanctuary, and his eyes popped all over again. And he said, the light in here, not the stained glass windows themselves, but the way the sun cast through the windows and then left pools of colored light on the floor. That was what he wanted to capture. And then he noticed how in the pews, all our prayer books and our Torah commentaries are lined up. And he said it took him back to his childhood when he went to a Catholic church. He hadn't been in years, but he said, boy, those books really bring me back. And he took pictures of the pews and the holy books. And then I said, I have to get ready for Shabbat. Services are starting soon. And he asked if he could stay. And I knew that he would be discreet. Normally I would say no cameras when there's a congregation present. But right now all we have in the sanctuary are cameras. So I said, yes, he could stay. At that point, cantorial soloist Lindy Rivers was already warming up for the service. 6:00, the service begins. We had already said our goodbyes because he wasn't intending to stay long. But wouldn't you know it, as the service unfolds, Justin is walking the balconies and getting more shots. And then he stayed, and he stayed, and he stayed, and he took a place in the pews at a distance towards the back of the sanctuary. And he put his cameras down, and he just was quiet and absorbed the sanctity of the space and the sounds of a tradition that is not his own, but a religious tradition nevertheless. I guess he needed to be there, and he didn't even know that he needed it. And he stayed through the whole Shabbat evening service, and afterwards he thanked us for allowing him to stay. He said it took him back to places that he didn't even know he missed. So I don't know what will become of Justin, if he'll make his way back to a Catholic church, but I know that he gave me something last Friday. And that was a reminder how important it is to stop and pause. We've been running so hard and so fast for so long that we forget what we need. We're so busy lifting the heavy burdens of the day that we forget what we need, and we forget to pause and to receive. So that's what I learned last week from a 20-something named Justin, and I thank him for it. So keep your eye out for the Sunday Star, and we'll see if Holy Blossom can be a source of joy not only for our congregants, but for fellow Torontonians. When you see the images there, you'll be reminded of the sacred spaces that are awaiting you, and it will make you thirsty for a return, as I can't wait for our reunion. And when you see those images, which I can only imagine are beautiful, you'll also be reminded of Justin and what he has to teach. So thank you, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. And I guess it's not too soon to wish you a Chag Sameach as well. I'll conclude with this brief poem entitled Optimism. It's written by Jane Hirschfield, and I think it's an important message for this moment as this spring festival of freedom is just around the corner now. Optimism. More and more I have come to admire resilience, not the simple resistance of a pillow whose foam returns over and over to the same shape, but to the sinuous tenacity of a tree. Finding the light newly blocked on one side, it turns in another. A blind intelligence, true, but out of such persistence arose turtles, rivers, mitochondria, figs, all this resinous, unretractable earth. Each one of us is like that tree, just shifting slightly to find the sunshine that's coming down, to fortify us, to photosynthesize us. Thank God spring has returned just when we need it most. Chag Sameach. Shabbat Shalom.